This is a big one, everybody. It is Aditya versus Julian in a Malice mirror match. A reminder, Aditya won last year's NAWCQ after failing to qualify for Worlds through the points playoffs. Exact same thing happened this year. Julian, meanwhile, he won the points playoffs. He's going, or at least got top 2. He's going to Worlds already, and he's just going for that trophy right now.
And as you can see here, we're in the middle of game 1, so we have plenty of match to see here. Like you said, Aditya had the exact same scenario. Not only will he be the first potential back-to-back NAWCQ champion, but do it in the exact same way, baby!
And also, I was talking to some of the reps backstage, and we can say with a certain level of confidence, nobody's ever won the points playoffs and then won the trophy afterwards. This would be unprecedented if Julian could go for this big push right here. So amazing if Julian can pull it off, but Aditya, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to do the back-to-back miracle run.
Continuing champions, but let's go ahead and get into the game here as we see some great Malice gameplay on the Aditya side. So here comes a Chessy Cat after paying 300 life points.
Yep, like I said, I believe we're in the middle of game 1 here, and it is Aditya's turn currently. Main phase 1, and we have a Topologic Bomber Dragon on Julian's board, which threatens to board wipe the entire board if any monster is special summoned to a zone it points to, or zone a link monster points to. Let me correct myself there. So Aditya needs to be very careful about zone placement and, of course, about, well, dealing with the monster in general.
And it seems like this is turn 2, so it looks like Julian went first and then Aditya went second.
Yes.
Love the Ojama blue token from Julian, by the way.
It's good luck, I bet.
Yep.
Always good to see Ojamas at this high level of gameplay, even in token form. It looks like we are going to do some Malice combos for the moment. Bring up the White Binder.
Now, one Topologic Bomber Dragon, and it doesn't seem like Julian has any way to banish and then summon to it, unless you have maybe like a BYSTIAL in hand, but we didn't get a look at Julian's hand before we hopped into this feature match.
He could have March Hare, BYSTIAL,
True, March Hare too,
he could have really all kinds of things, but right now I think he's just waiting to go for things. But there we see Access Code Talker coming down. Ooh, that might mean Aditya's trying to go for, you know, gain here this turn. He's going to automatically kill the Topologic Bomber Dragon. White Binder will summon back. If we use Dormouse this turn, this is already enough damage. Yep. And there we go. Julian is calling it there. Aditya takes game 1. Okay.
Whoa. Aditya just feeling himself there. But Botul is having a good time. But again, Aditya just
to handle the start of the game, because this is an important one. Aditya's up 1-0. One more win means that he has a chance to defend his NAWCQ title. He is the defending champion from last year.
Already going back to Worlds.
Already going back to Worlds. Julian, meanwhile, trying to do something never before. Make it to a finals and potentially win a finals at the same event that he won the points playoffs.
Legends in the making. Here we go.
He wants to be the undisputed best duelist in the room, and he's on his way to doing that.
In standby phase.
Looks like Aditya has something.
Is that that is Perulia, I believe.
Looks like Perulia, yep.
And there we see Malice and Underground being activated at the beginning of Julian's main phase here. We're going to be banishing. No Lance here, so we're pretty safe. And we can feel confident that Julian might be playing through nothing else. Playing through Perulia is not that hard as Malice, but it does turn off things like March Hare and BYSTIALs as being extra extenders for you, and even the Cyberse cards.
But the nice thing about opening with the field spell is that Julian could potentially just assemble a field with never summoning a monster from hand. It would be more of a half board, but Malice half boards still feel great. If you can end with like a March Hare in hand, you're feeling really solid.
100%. And honestly, the Topologic Bomber Dragon board is kind of the half board you would kind of create, and against Malice specifically, that's a really fun way to interact with the board.
Yeah, so Aditya might not even get a draw off this, depending on how Julian wants to approach.
Yeah, essentially going -1.
So catching us up on the duel, the Malice P Dormouse went ahead and banished the White Rabbit. We've gone ahead and set a trap once we special summoned the Malice White Rabbit again, and looks like Julian just kind of going through the Malice numbers here, but I think you're right, Steven, that I don't know if we even have to summon anything from the hand. We could just play low to the ground and make Aditya start the turn with 5 cards.
So what do you think, Steven? Splash Mage? Yeah, it looks like Splash Mage here.
Yeah, Wicked's a little hard to go for if you don't have a really guaranteed way to summon, and sometimes you want to summon Wicked off of summoning your, after summoning your Link 3s, because then the Wicked can automatically banish your Link 3 for you and get you extra extension that way.
Yeah, but you also don't want to be really summoning all those Aniteckzettos from the hand, because your opponent's going to be drawing, so this is definitely the more, I think, reasonable line to go down for Julian. Again, it's the brain behind the scarf that I'm really impressed by, is that the choices he makes when he's facing these tough situations, changing the lines that the Malice deck can go down to make sure he's not giving his opponent all these draws.
Yep, so here we see the 06 banishing the red ransom, so it can be activated this turn, bringing back the White Rabbit, and now we're going to pay 900 and resolve the effect of red ransom.
Yeah, 65.
Yep, 65 total. We've used 2 main decks and 1 extra deck monsters effect.
Anything here?
No.
Pay 300 now, go to 71.
Yes.
I'm at 62 now, yeah.
62, sorry.
Card
Already
effect.
used the 900.
Lot of
Cat
life
effect
points
will
paid.
banish a Malice card in hand. Looks like that's the mirror.
Yep, and then that'll allow you to banish another card
Mirror
as well.
target mouse.
Sorry, it'll actually banish it and then search for a card that is different from the one that you banished.
And I believe we have not banished
Sorry, the same,
Dormouse
same.
yet because we banished the White Rabbit instead earlier.
We banished it up underground.
Oh, did we? Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Good catch.
Yeah, it can sometimes be hard when people are playing this fast to
Yep,
keep track of
I
everything that's
know.
happening and remember to actually call it the correct way because there's so many different lines you can go for at any single point.
2 Malice Masters will be keeping track of all of that, though.
Oh, absolutely. Julian showing that he has been playing this deck all year and playing it well. And when you get to that level of comfort of the deck, you kind of just get to freestyle, right? You're like, you know what? I'm going to go this way. It may not feel optimal, but it completely gets me through this line without having to give my opponent any additional draws. Again, all these monsters hitting the board, but not one from the hand.
Yeah, we see the hard scripter going down. Just going to go ahead and full commit into that here with a full grip of cards. And exactly right. He doesn't need to overextend into this. He's happy to let Aditya go -1 off this Perulia. But I think he's just deciding, yep, pass it right there.
And in the Malice deck, you have a lot of 1-card starters, but not that many to guarantee you draw one. A lot of them are 2-card starters, which means that if you don't have that extra draw, you now have 5 cards in your hand. It's kind of like you're going first, but now you have to play into a field that can remove your monsters.
And you would think like, intuitively that, oh, having Banish as your main form of interaction wouldn't actually work against Malice. But the actual opposite is true, because if you Banish and you summon, you can actually Banish what they summon back as well.
Another Perulia, though.
So difficult to decide what we're going to do here. Maybe this is just to combat the Bestial monsters effectively.
Bestials and March Hare.
That we know is in hand.
That's right.
Yeah. So
we're
that's
gonna
going to make Julian rethink if he actually wants to use those now.
So there was a normal summon of March Hare from Aditya, and now we're using the hard-drawn MTP07 to banish it and search for another Malice name.
Probably a March Hare. Typically, that's what you
He already
see
normal
going
summoned
for.
March Hare, so March Hare will come back to hand using its effect.
Oh, good.
So he's going to get a
Yeah.
different name.
But that does mean he can go ahead and use the March Hare effect when it comes back to his hand to maybe banish a Malice name that he gets back to the graveyard. Let's see what he ends up adding here.
Well, March Hare can banish from hand, too, so he'll get the name that he'll use to summon March Hare using its actual effect.
But like you had said, banishing as removal, it's not bad if your
Intuitively.
opponent has already used the
That's
banish
right.
effect to bring back. So that doesn't really get Aditya out of the situation.
Well, he could have extenders and is baiting that now.
He's going to need them, yeah.
It's all about like timing it the right way and trying to force outs from Julian because he knows that Julian has the March Hare, and so that's why he went for the Perulia to punish him for going for that line.
Yeah.
So now we're going to use the March Hare effect here.
This is probably most likely going to banish the White Rabbit that we added to our hand. There it is. To summon itself to the field. Now if we banish this, nothing else will happen. But there's maybe more impactful things for Julian to do because he can still have access to a Link 1 and boom, summon a Cyberstatic Nister.
Yeah.
And then he's playing
But
through one interaction essentially.
Keeping him off of the GW06 does feel pretty good.
Well, you wouldn't be able to stop that because it still gets summoned and activates the effect no matter what.
Oh, sure.
Looks like we're going to use the effect of White Rabbit here. Julian considering his options, what he wants to activate. Again, if you are going to be the best, you probably need to be able to defeat the prior champion. It looks like no response here, so we're going to set an additional Malice trap card.
And there's going to be that 06 that we're talking about. It's going to be a really important way for Aditya to play through whatever kind of interaction Julian has, because one way to get your actual banished Malice cards back is to use GW06 instead. No, he did normal. He normaled the March Hare for turn. Julian just clarifying how many resources Aditya's gone to, both in terms of the cards and in terms of the actual mechanics of the game.
And from this position, Aditya could go into a Link 1, but the Link 2 options are really scary because as soon as you go into like a Splash Mage, that's a prime target for Julian to look at.
But if you go Splash Mage and you just go Crypt or Banish, it is an ignition effect, so you won't be able to get the body that way.
Exactly, yeah.
So we are going to Lingerie, but which could be big for that potential face-down trap card, if it is a trap card. We don't actually know what that set card is for Julian, I don't think.
A little bit of slowdown here as both players think for a moment. Julian considering his options, whether or not he wants to do anything, but so we're going to go ahead and get back the Malice Mirror.
Oh, we're targeting the Malice Mirror to shuffle back, but Aditya might have a
I'd
response
like to
here.
concede.
Oh, and there's
Wow.
the scoop from Aditya.
So we're 1-1 here. Either person winning would be historic.
We're one community, but it's so much fun when we get to meet up together, cross regions, and say, all right, But who's the best? Right
Oh,
now, at
goodness.
least. Right now, at least.
World Championship caliber duelists from around the world. Many of the regions already filled up, filled out, figured out, and so the last WCQ later this month, the EU WCQ. I know where I'll be. I'll be watching that just to make sure we find out who gets sent to Paris, France from the EU WCQ. And I believe they have 7 spots, so 7 new names to add into the equation as our players here shake hands and find out who they're going to go. So we do have a small penalty because apparently there was a card seen from the opponent's deck. Just a procedural and reminder warning, not a big deal here, but make sure to be careful with your cards even at this level of play.
And it is a DT going first, like we had said. Terraforming, not a bad start.
I mean, we saw how powerful just Malice and Underground was with Julian in game 2. Not that bad for Adichie either. All right.
No Lancia.
Oh, yeah, it would have been activated there with the swiftness.
Banish Dormouse. Dormouse is back.
Declaring it
And
before
no
you even draw the
meows.
card.
No meows. So that means I'm not expecting a Molcharmy from Julian.
Impulse is still on the table, as well as potential of Ash Blossom to turn off some really powerful extension. But if you're Adichie and you're going through your checklist of cards, the scary ones are there. But Empire is pretty big. Forces another card in hand to be a starter, for sure. Or an extender, at least. And usually in game 3, you do lower the amount of engine you have.
Okay. Aditya says that is fine, so has not committed a normal summon yet. It was terraforming to the field spell to Dormouse, and now we can just link into a link 1.
There's the Ling Garibo. This could turn off any potential, turn on any potential backup Adignisters that are in her hand. Like that one.
Yep.
That's
And this is what I was talking about. The 1-card starters for Malice are good, but you really have so many extenders in the deck as well. So the 2-card combos really are where the deck shines.
The deck is very mathematically consistent when you think about it. There's so many 1-card combos in the deck, but there's also so many 2-card combos, so any hand does it.
I've seen reports that like it's technically more mathematically consistent than things like Ryziel. When you think of all those 1-card starters, when you factor in the 2-card starters, which I think is very, very cool, because I think so many people counted Malice out because of, oh, before the Adignist cards came out, it's maybe a little bricky. Oh, maybe you just don't open the right cards. You have to run too many Bestials, but now it really has been optimized.
So here we have the effect of SP Little Knight banishing, I believe, the White Rabbit that we discarded off of backup Adignist's effect. Going to be now paying another 300 life points to summon it back on the field and get access to a trap card. I'm a big fan of the SP lines. I've been using those for a lot in my Malice combos, and it's great to see Adichie do the same thing here. It just generates so much advantage for you.
There's a bug on the map.
Oh.
Julian's getting attacked by the local wildlife.
MTP also.
Ooh, that's interesting. That tells me there could be G36 in hand, or he sided out of it. Either one is definitely interesting.
Well, we've got plenty of time left on the clock, so a life point advantage is not going to close this out. We got to have a photo finish the old-fashioned way.
Yep, and there we see Red Ransom going to be searching for that Malice and Mirror. A really awesome inclusion for this deck ever since Alliance Insight came out. It just gives Red Ransom so much more utility in this deck.
I will activate MTP also.
And here we go, 07, banishing the Red Ransom.
Yeah, Marcher is going to be great here because we have not committed our normal summon, so we still probably have plenty of ways to just keep playing. And now Red Ransom will let us banish another name by the name of maybe Chessy Cat, and because we added a name guaranteed to our hand, get another +2 draws. Ooh, I love Malice so much.
Feels pretty good.
If you're a fan of Malice, this is a good day for you. If you're not, that's okay. There are other tournaments in the future, but right now we are going to at least have one of these Malice decks advance. But go ahead.
Well, if you're not a fan of Malice, you're probably really cheering for Willie piloting Orcus Fiend Smith.
That's going to be a really interesting match. I'm going to sit out with the crowd for that one just to see it up close and personal.
You have to. Anytime you're here, make sure if you're ever at a YCS or an NWCQ, sit in the crowd, watch the duels. It gets electric out there in the finals.
So there we see the draw 2 after banishing the March Hare. And then we're going to pay 300 with the March Hare to add itself back to the hand. Going all the way down to, I believe, 59. I believe we used every main deck monster plus 1 extra deck monster.
So what do we typically expect here from the Malice deck? Do we go into the Allied Code Talker?
It depends on the matchup. So given that G2 feels pretty safe here, this could be a line for Topologic Bomber if it's in his deck. Allied Code, like you're talking about, could be a fun way to sort of put the nail in the coffin for Julian, because he's already gone -1 using that infinite impermanence.
7? Yeah.
Counting the summons is Julian.
Here.
Maybe Nibiru the Primal Being coming down. The comments coming for assaults with the story of this tournament.
He was counting cards in hand. DJ has 7 cards in hand.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah. Is that all?
He has 7 in hand?
He's drawn a lot of cards. Almost every single monster he's summoned has been a 1-for-1.
Yeah,
and then he drew another.
Yeah, I have not normal summon.
Okay.
No, there's not been a normal summon. Everything started with Malice and Underground, and then a backup in the hand.
As it often does.
Beautiful.
I could be wrong. Maybe they're counting summons, but I'm pretty sure Aditya has at least 6 or 7 cards in hand.
I mean, it could easily be 7 summons with Malice.
That's also true.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and summon here.
So this will go into White Binder if I had to take my guess, or it could be for a Wicked, but because we already banished our Red Ransom, that's not the most valuable play for us.
White Binder makes its appearance.
Notice Aditya not using the effect on summon. That's really big, saving it for later. I love that heads-up play.
And what's very interesting here is you can actually banish that infinite impermanence because you're going to do summoning on your opponent's turn as well. I'm expecting that. Yep. So remove the trap card so that the impulse no longer has a trap to then negate and destroy a summon.
And yeah, now that I think about it, saving it kind of doesn't really do anything for you because you've used all your names already. And so there's nothing for you to value banish on your turn. You just want to get guaranteed names in your banishment for your future cryptors. So that's really big for Aditya there. Might as well get it out of the way.
Like the set.
And now this will be grabbing the 06. I actually like the line of going for the MTP 07 from the White Rabbit with your Red Ransom line, so that way you can have ultra protection against your White Binder, because if they stop any of those things, you can still guarantee White Binder and get you to U6 that way.
Yeah.
And then save it for your opponent's turn, which is really fun.
It's wild how skillful a duelist Aditya has been, because while Julian has been playing a lot of Malice decks, we've seen Aditya as recently as YCS Houston in the top 4 with Mermail. So just a lot of different strategies, maybe trying to figure out which deck his heart of the cards is bonded to. But right now he's doing great with Malice, using the GWC 06 to banish the White Binder and bring back the Heart Scripter.
And we're going to gain 2,300 life points, going all the way up to 82 now, and then we're going to pay 900 to summon back the White Binder and potentially draw a card. But let's see if Julian has anything to say about that. That is good. So we're going to be getting the extra draw as well as the 900 back, so we've gained a total of 1,400 life points.
All right, how many cards in hand now?
It was cards in hand that he was asking about.
Julian seeming a little exhausted by the advantage there.
8.
Yeah. I thought so.
I know you added March Hare
Yep.
as well as Mirror this turn.
Yep.
That is correct.
Julian is doing a good job of making sure he has access to all the information he needs to play out his turn. And there's actually a pretty scary link arrow pointing here for Aditya. I could see a firewall line actually coming from him here, given the way he's choosing to do his co-linking.
We did see Julian do similar combos too. He used the Firewall Dragon into Allied Code Talker, etc. So it might just be going as far as you can.
End board is?
Oh boy, he's saying what his favorite endpoint is. Is this Firewall or is this... There's Firewall Dragon!
That was fun too.
Is it going to be Firewall plus Cryptor?
Interesting. Maybe using the trap cards to banish Malice monsters out of the graveyard to create the co-links from there.
There's probably a world where all Aditya cares about is Firewall and nothing else, because he has the Marcher in hand to banish the White Binder and get his full balance for it anyway.
Julian's not impressed. Only three? Only 3 seconds.
And the funny thing is Aditya's probably setting some of those just so that he doesn't discard the hand size.
That's true too. I mean,
Ruin's target White Binder is so huge here.
Yeah. That is the way to get back your GW06.
No. Even better, because Aditya doesn't have 06, it being banished, I have no idea how he summons that back to the field.
True.
Now, we still have access to March Hare to banish the Red Ransom, and Red Ransom can banish another White Rabbit from the deck to give us MTP 07 again, but there's a world where Julian can play through this board pretty handedly.
Let's see. 3 back row is intimidating. Normal summon Dormouse.
That's a pretty good way to start.
That's a good way to start.
If I do say so myself.
Certainly the best starter there.
Can I look at your
Also, it is worth noting that I do not believe, because the White Binder is not summonable, that Aditya has a way to co-link this Firewall Dragon, because Red Ransom does not have an up arrow, and I don't think Splash Mage does either.
Nope.
And so this Firewall Dragon could have 0 effects this turn.
Ooh. Oh, it's empty effects.
There's
the Lancia. And you said it, it's not just going second that you side this. You're deciding to go in first as well.
And that's why he went for the Firewall Dragon, because Firewall Dragon is unencumbered by Lancia.
Yes.
However, we're not out of the woods yet. Even performing a link summon that wouldn't really do anything would send the Druid's Worm to the graveyard, and it could be used to get rid of the Firewall Dragon.
Yeah. We can still go into something like a Splash Mage. Or actually, do we have the materials for that?
It needs 2 Cybers, so no, not with Druid's Worm.
No, not with Druid's Worm.
We can do SP, but we can't banish anything. So.
Haggard, if you're on that.
So you can't banish anything.
No.
Even for cost.
So it's really just a link summon just to get rid of the Druid's Worm, but you might just leave the Malice P Dormouse by itself defenseless with the Druid's Worm and Toad.
Firewall's only 2,500, just crash it. Why not?
Honestly, yeah.
That way you can keep your body. And because you activate the effect of Dormouse, even though you're not banishing, I do believe you still get the plus 600, so all of his Malice monsters are buffed up this turn.
You can even go on just to Lingarebo so you can check an opponent's trap card.
Again, you need to banish Lingarebo to do that.
Well,
so
if you crash and then pass your turn on the
Sure,
just
on
the
their following turn,
yeah.
100%.
And I think that's
100%.
actually what we're doing. Maybe they can hear us from here. And we're kidding, by the way, fans. They cannot.
No.
Well, I mean, you can still back up, right? Like, so that's really cool thing about backup Aniteckzetto is that it gives you lines to play through
Yes.
Lancia because you can
Exactly.
still special summon and link climb from there.
Backup effects.
And there it is.
So your graveyard is not your banishment, and you don't have to banish cards for this one.
I mean, this is huge because Aditya has no access to his Malice cards anymore either because of that Lancia, so it's worth keeping that in mind.
So we won't be able to, we don't have a Malice name, so unlikely we have a clear line to the Malice Link monsters, but you can still do a lot with just this Cybers kind of combo.
Yep, here we see the Wizard being added in. We're going to be discarding another copy of Dormouse to the grave, our only other copy of Dormouse because it is limited to 2. Semi-limited to 2.
Hurt the consistency of the deck, but obviously Duelists have found a way. Now we're going to go and link off that not the Firewall Dragon, the Druid's word, but the Firewall Dragon certainly on the mind because it's likely going to be sent to the graveyard shortly.
Yep.
On triggers.
Ooh, the Dark Charmer stealing Red Ransom would be so huge.
That is massive for Julian.
That is big.
That might just be game ending right there.
Well, I don't know if he has the
Sure,
damage
Firewall.
necessarily, but it would be very cool. Because if he special summons the Red Ransom, he'll get to use the effect when it's special summoned to search for a spell card.
Yes. And does Dormouse still give the attack boost?
Yes, it
even
does.
if
Yes, it does.
Is not able to resolve the effect?
He activated the effect.
Okay.
And you resolve as much as you can. And
So-
it's not a condition to get that extra.
So there is an attack boost for the Malices. Dark can bring 1 back. He still has the Wizard in hand.
I mean, Red Ransom is pretty delectable, I think,
Yeah.
if you're Julian. But you could go for a Link 2 line, but if you don't get a Malice, how do you get more access to your Malice engine? Yeah, Red Ransom. And then that's the target, and then he's going, what can I do? You can't banish it from the graveyard with your March here because you got Lancia'd yourself.
Yep.
Octave Ransom.
3 face downs. What are they for Aditya?
I mean, we know one of them is Malice in the Mirror for sure. We know one of them is potentially 07, but I believe he used it that turn.
Yeah,
Didn't
he
get
did.
back.
He did. Yeah. So maybe like
Impulse?
infinite impermanence, impulses.
Impulse, Impermanence makes a lot of sense.
Called by, which wouldn't be live anymore either.
Yeah.
But if there wasn't infinite impermanence, you think he would have used it against the
Nibiru!
Dark River? Oh!
Oh, we're all concerned about his set cards. We forget he has cards in hand and drew 8 last turn. He could have all kinds of non-engine as well.
The Rock is hitting the field.
Found exactly what he needed, so we're going to go ahead and tribute these monsters. Thanks for the free attack points, friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's his, and then your Dark Tremor goes to the grave. That is 1 big token, but very little defense.
What an incredible duel we are treated to here. Both of these guys stopping each other's turns. Right when we think it's going to go one way, it turns around. Julian had 2 interactions, infinite impermanence and a Ball Drake. And that was it, which is not ideal into a Malice
Metal
combo.
Tronus target Nibiru, the primal being. We can summon a light 3000 if we want, which I believe.
Detonator?
Yeah.
Detonator!
Detonator coming down in a Malice mirror match.
What?
Lessons learned from earlier in the format, like at the Team YCS, where Metal Tronus was rampant everywhere, and Detonator
You
too.
used Dormouse effect, right?
No.
That's why I just asked you if I was.
Oh, but you could banish him face down.
Yeah.
And we're checking to make sure he's not locked into links.
It just
I mean, yeah.
it just stays on board. Yeah.
Okay. So we just have an awkward appearance there from Ryseal Detonator.
So that means Dormouse was never activated. No, he never activated the effect of
Yes.
Dormouse to summon back from the banish.
Yes, exactly. So he's not locked, and he can just crash into the token or go into Link Spider with the token, rather.
And now that he has a Link Monster, he can use Wizard. But there's Dominance
There's Impulse. He had
Wow.
it. He had it.
Oh, and it was set as well to dodge, discarding it to the hand size. Hilarious.
Oh, my goodness.
Getting to a simplified game state's kind of difficult. I don't know if the Detonator should crash into the Nibiru, because if it does, then there's just no monsters left on Julian's side.
But if you leave it, you give your opponent an option to go into something like an SP or a Haggard Lizardos and then start playing.
We already know Aditya has March
Oh,
Hare
he
in
does
hand,
have March.
you know,
Yeah,
so
actually, that's a
he's-
good point.
He's going to go crazy on his next turn.
So crash at 1,000.
A nice 1,000 to the face here from Link Spider. We love to see him attack.
A little
Pride.
poke there.
Drop return.
And there's a pass.
That Nibiru just saved Aditya's life, and the Impulse was the cherry on top. Aditya has the gas in hand and a Ball Drake to boot.
Oh, and there
That's
it is.
That's it! Aditya returns to the finals of the North American World Championship. Back-to-back years. It's never been done until now.
Aditya will have a chance to defend his North